My name is Jen Creed, and I am a destination wedding photographer based in Colorado. And I specialize in creating art around your intimate, intentional, experiential destination wedding weekends. And welcome to the first of a video vendor blog spotlight. I have really enjoyed sharing some of my favorite vendors that I have worked with. It is so fun to be in such a creative field and to find people that I resonate with, find people that have the same values around events, the intentionality and the creativity and the joy that goes into planning a wedding. Today, I'm super excited to introduce to you Natasha Tuccitto of Sugar Willow Events. She is based in Denver, Colorado. And one of the things I really love about Natasha is that we both really share a passion for the experience of the event and how an event feels. Really prioritizing the experience of both you as the couple and the experience of your guests coming together and the joy that exists in a wedding celebration. So let's get started. Welcome to today's episode of Vendor Spotlight, the first video vendor spotlight that I've done. This has been such a fun way to share some of my favorite wedding vendors with you guys. I'm excited to introduce to you guys today Natasha Tuccitto of Sugar Willow Events, and I am so excited to have her here with me. It's been so fun to get to know her, and I know we both really share a passion for how an event feels and like the experience of an event. And I'm just so excited to talk more with her today. So just to give you a little bit of a background on Natasha, she has 12 years of experience with weddings, and she really loves bringing every element together into a gorgeously cohesive whole for a wedding and reflecting her clients' styles, priorities, and relationships in celebrations that feel organic and unforced. So Natasha, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, to share with us a little bit more about like how you got into weddings, like how you ended up here.
I think, like most people in this industry, I got into it completely by accident. I was running a salon for a long time, um, with a staff of like 30-ish women at any given time. Lots of women get married. We had a lot of female clients. I planned the parties for the salon. And it just kind of trickled, like one person needed help and then another person needed help. And I kind of just built a word of mouth reputation. And we did mostly tented private estate weddings in the beginning, which was a weird place to start, but I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like rolled with it. And then about a few years into that, my husband kind of pulled me aside and he's like, this is either a job or a hobby.
Mm.
And I was like, all right, I'll try it. We'll see if it's a job. And we've been going ever since. So it was a big blessing, but not intentional at all.
I love that. I love that you just kind of jumped in the deep end. Like, I feel like the private estate tinted weddings is like where people
Yeah.
kind of aspire to, and you just sort of jumped right in there.
Yeah.
I love that. Um, I know in your bio on your website also mentioned that you have a background in art history. Does that kind of play into what you do here?
It is. It's super. I have like my education background is so random. I was a nutrition and dietetics major, also studying art history because um, nutrition's kind of boring. So yeah, I studied both, which really like helped out in a lot of ways in this industry, just like learning polar opposite things. But I love art. I love finding art in weird places and galleries and architecture and all of that. So I think that is where my eye is drawn to, like inspiration wise and all things, even when planning an event. Like that's one of the design questions I always ask a couple is like, what do you like to do together? Where do you travel? Send me any photos you have for inspiration that are, they could be a part of a building you saw or somewhere you stayed or anything like that. Cause I love to like gravitate towards, the architecture and art pieces of an event when we can do that.
I love that. And I love that it's so personal to the couple and also not like send me your wedding Pinterest board. Like it's like actually
Right.
it's like taking it out of that kind of stereotypical wedding world and really making it something that's unique to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I That's where like and you get to know people so much better that way too. Like a Pinterest board is other people's ideas, which I love a Pinterest board. I got all my design like home design comes from there too. But like getting to know the inside of people, that really helps, is just like where they've been, what they see, what their eyes are drawn to.
I love that inspiration can really be found anywhere. Is there any other places or like ways that you really see that you find inspiration, either for like for your life or just for your work?
Yeah, but you're gonna love this answer. Photography.
Mm.
I'm terrible at taking a picture, but I really appreciate like a well done photo, and I love like when you can feel emotion in a photo. I mean, sometimes it's just, I know sometimes it's just editing and blah blah blah,
Mhm.
but I just love that. So like whether it's scenic or architectural or um of people. I love photos of people when you don't really see the people either. Like I love that like running away back of the body shot. Like that creates a feeling for me. And I do that same thing like when it's in nature or like we had a wedding once at a private ranch, and the couple sent me a photo of the lake where they got engaged on the ranch, and like that created so much like inspiration for me, even just in my daily life. Like it just brought me joy. So I think, yeah, photos.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love what you said about the ones that you can feel. And I think as a photographer, like I feel like working with working with a really great planner like helps so much with that because it allows the couple to actually be present and be in those moments. And I feel like when they're able to be present and able to be themselves and they feel really comfortable in like what we've all created together, I feel like is what
Hmm.
really like adds that extra feeling to the photos. So I think
Yeah.
that's a really fun like symbiotic thing there. What are tell me about some of like your all-time favorite weddings or designs or just like some of the like some elements of some of your favorite designs that you've ever produced.
For design wise, like I don't love to create the same thing over and over again. I don't love, we might replicate the vendors, but the vendors, we're all on board that we're all like, okay, we did this last time. Like, let's do the polar opposite, and really pull that inspiration from the couple, that what is their vision, and not like recreating some cookie cutter pieces. Um, but with the same one we did with the like that they sent me the lake photo, like that was at the top of a mountain. You know, we had to bring in gravel to create a road,
Oh
and
wow.
like an electrician to get power up there, and like all these crazy things. Um, but because it was such a special place to them, like all of the colors were reminiscent of what the landscape was at that season of the year, and like soft greens and soft blues and purples and stuff, just like that's what you would have seen in the mountain. So I love each wedding and design is so different because you're pulling the inspiration from the couple and from the setting. We had one last year, and she literally to this day describes it as crackhead colors, which is not the most romantic wedding thing, but she was a very vibrant person. She loved mid-mod design, like, really embraced color all the time. Like you meet her and she's always wearing like a vibrant pink, a vibrant orange, something like that. And we incorporated that into the wedding design. Like there were bright colors and lots of them, and we kind of had to create zones so things kind of worked out and flowed together. And that was a fun challenge too, of being able to be like, what can we do that's completely insane but not look absolutely ridiculous?
Mm.
Um, and so that was really fun. And that's, again, coming inspiration from the couple.
Yeah, I think that's really, really powerful. I'm always a big proponent across all areas of life of dropping the shoulds, dropping how things should be, and
Hmm.
like making it true to you. And I mean, I understand the power of having like, let's say, I know that there are photographers, planners, et cetera, that have like a consistent like aesthetic or whatever, but I really love the flip of being like what actually brings everything together is that it's like true to the couple and whatever that is for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't want anything in my life to look like my best friends or my neighbors or whatever.
Mhm.
So why would you want your wedding to look like the one you went to 6 months ago?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes people almost need the permission to be like, yeah, it's okay to drop all that aside. Like it doesn't have to
Hmm.
look a certain way just because it's a wedding. It can actually be what excites you and what inspires you and what lights
Yeah.
you up. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that applies to people too. Like, I love this trend of like dropping wedding parties, or, just having one or two people with you, because you don't have to have 12 people standing there that are going to make your day stressful and long and all of that. I think, like, if that's your vibe, you hang out with those people all the time, then that's perfect. If you're doing it to like as a placeholder, Um, why should we? We don't have to. Like, let's get rid of it and do something else, do something cool, honor those people differently.
Yes, absolutely. Like let's question why we're doing why we're doing these things and
Yeah,
making sure it's aligned. Yeah, I am
yeah.
yeah, I am super in favor of that. Like let's leave that in the past and make sure that we're doing the
Hmm.
things that make sense for you, that makes sense for you, your family and all the things.
Yeah,
Not that we're like, and if that is a more traditional thing, then great. Like let's do that, but let's
yeah.
not just do it because that's what you do because it's a wedding. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Yep.
because it's what everybody else did.
Love that. Do you see any, like, especially working so closely with your couples and bringing in so many personal things to them? Are there kind of like some qualities you tend to see in your favorite couples to work with that are like sort of your client green flags?
Yes. I like how you worded that, green flags for couples. Um, I know, like, when I'm talking with somebody that we're going to align, if like they're mentioning the people in their lives,
Mm.
they want to celebrate the people that are traveling with them. They want to celebrate and honor parents or grandparents or friends or their support system. Um, if it's a couple that's really just about the two of them and their experience, there's nothing wrong with that. I just know I'm going to have a harder time connecting with them because I value people too. And, I have a great team and great support system and great vendor community, even, right? So the fact that they're going to like resonate and understand and, I might advise them like, hey, I really think that this photographer, venue planner, whatever, coordinator, whoever is going to be a really good fit for you. They're going to trust that because they know that we're aligned in the same values. And I'll even do that with couples that aren't a good fit for me for whatever reason. I think that it's just a good way to connect with people. I think if we're leaning on our community, we're going to be a stronger community. And that goes for your wedding. Like you know, it's such a pivotal moment financially, emotionally. It's for your lifelong, it's a lifelong memory. So, like, let's really embrace the people in our lives to do that with. And
Yeah.
so, my green flag huge is they celebrate their people. They celebrate life's moments. If they spend every night at home watching TV, they're probably also not going to understand, you know, how how I see their event, right? Like we're going to have elements of adventure and elements of experience, and if you don't get that, we're not going to align. Um, and then they just have an eye for like unusual design. It doesn't have to be weird, but it shouldn't be the same as everybody else's. So if they're telling me things that they saw or they want to try or um, that they, really don't like about a wedding, sometimes that's really helpful too. Like, I don't want to do it this way. And those things align. I think that's perfect.
Yeah. I literally like got goosebumps, like full body, like energy, like just the power behind. I know it's such a heart piece for you of like valuing your people. And I know that that is like true in your personal life too, with your beautiful family. And it just like, I don't know, it just like gives me goosebumps. At the time of recording this, we haven't actually worked a wedding together.
Yeah.
But like, I, I know that your couples are so well cared for because I know like your heart and your soul in that like community piece. And it brings that deeper thing into a wedding, which is also something that I really appreciate is like when we're really in this celebration and like especially I feel like for me when people have like been through some life, like there's been life lived and so they know that like there is value in this joy in this celebration and like life's not always going to be, the high highs and they know that and that brings even more I'm going to like tear up. It brings even um more power to the joy and the love that is here and that is present on that day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that too, like valuing photography in the wedding sphere, and a lot of times, sometimes we have to explain that to couples that aren't familiar. And like, you're gonna get pictures of the two of you in those moments and things you want to remember because the day goes so fast. But you're also gonna get moments and photos of the people that maybe not won't be here
Mm-hmm.
next time. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all it's all really beautiful. I love it. Um, okay. So to take it a touch lighter, although I'm always here for the deep. I'm I'm always here for the deep dive, apparently. If you could design or plan a wedding anywhere in the world, like what would be the dream?
Such a hard question. Um, so like if I'm gonna stay, true to my Colorado mountain girl roots, I would say Dunbar Ranch up in Aspen. Like I think that is a bucket list, gorgeous, like so exclusive and like just so special that like bucket list right there. I want to stay in Colorado and go to Dunbar. Um, Otherwise, I want to do like an exclusive beach where you don't have a lot of access. Not everybody's able to get married there, those kind of things. Literally anywhere. If I can't be on the mountains, I want to be on a beach. Okay, that's who I am.
I love that.
Or like Ireland, just
Mhm.
because the weather's terrible, but it's so beautiful.
Yes. Uh,
Uh,
I love that Colorado is actually what came to mind first. So
yeah.
in case people don't, you are Colorado native, right?
Yeah, yeah, I was born here. We moved around a lot when I was a kid,
Mhm.
but I've been back in Colorado my whole adult life, and I love it here. I don't see me living full time anywhere else. Like I'm so happy here.
Yeah, I agree. It really is so special, and I feel like I feel like there's something really special about weddings here. I have not been here that long yet, but I really think that there is something special about that. Do you tend to see do you get a pretty good mix of people who live in Colorado and then people who are like Colorado's as a destination from them, or do you tend to see more of one or the other?
Um, I would say that we're like 50-50. Um, we are, and then this kind of goes for like the whole Rocky Mountain region, like Montana down through like New Mexico, and we're
Mhm.
working, outside of the state, is we either have people that have moved here, but their families aren't here, their community isn't here. So they want to bring everybody and show off this area to them, or we're kind of middle of the road. And I feel like that happens a lot. We'll get, he's East Coast, she's West Coast, and we're kind of like a middle destination for their event and their families, or couples that grew up skiing here. They maybe have a mountain house, those type of things. But for the most part, I would say like 70-30 now. 30 of actual like Colorado like residents,
Mhm.
70 destination coming into the Rocky Mountain region.
Is there anything that you kind of see that like if people are coming in from destination, like anything that they definitely should know or like should be thinking about having a Colorado wedding?
We have all four seasons here, and a lot of people, like, say Florida, they're not familiar with that feeling. They want like a beautiful winter, snowy wedding. They forget that it's actually like cold and messy and all of those things. So I would say that we have four seasons, and like that affects our planning timeline too, right? Like if we're doing a summer wedding and we've got to be planning in, the fall, winter, and we're already getting snow, that really is going to affect our site visits. That's going to affect our tasting schedules. You think of these mountaintop venues or even, private property, like, we've had to snowmobile to get to plots of land
Oh my gosh.
to do like a site tour. And the trees are different. The land is like everything looks completely different than it will during the regular season. So, I think that's just something to keep in mind, is our seasonality here is um, it's beautiful. That's what people love about it, but it does create a challenge planning and the production side.
Yeah, oh, that makes sense. I wouldn't have thought about that in terms of site visits, but yeah, I know that those are pieces that I'm also still getting used to a bit.
Yeah,
But it's like,
that
well,
I-70 will be closed
right.
anytime you need it not to be.
Yep. We tried to go up to one of our favorite hikes up in Nederland probably in May, maybe April. I don't remember, but we drove up there and I was like, there is still a foot on the snow on the ground here.
Yeah,
Like, and it's only an hour from where I live. So yeah, getting used to that is,
for
yeah,
sure.
that's a good pro tip for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been so much fun talking.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to make sure that people know about you, or just anything else you want to share?
Oh my gosh. I think you did a great job. I think that we covered so many things.
Yeah,
Um, I just want to thank you. This was a fun little adventure today. I love a little adventure.
I love this. Yes, it's always about the journey, right? Um,
Yeah, for sure.
This has been so fun. Thanks for coming on and sharing with us. I'm excited to, I don't know, to share this with people. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening. You can find out more about Natasha at sugarwillowevents.com or also on Instagram at sugarwillowevents. And I will also link to those in the notes and in the blog post. But feel free to reach out to her if you are looking for somebody to plan your wedding. And I hope that everyone is having a great week.